Welcome to the Real Talk with Missy and Fabio.
The honest side of real estate with all you must know to survive in this market.
Hello everyone, welcome to Missy and Fabio Real Talk, Real People. Today we have Luke Wright. Did I say it right?
Mr. Luke Wright is joining us.
Yeah, we've been looking for him for a long time.
Yeah, we're trying to catch up, but we're excited to have him here. And if you guys have any questions or anything you'd like to put in the comments, please do so. We'll respond just as soon as we can. We're going to make sure Luke's information is there for you also. So you can catch up with this man, and he's got all kinds of things in the skillet. So there'll be certain ways you'll be able to help him too. So don't forget to subscribe and
click the red button.
Red button.
red button and ring the bell.
Ding.
Yeah, that's true. Hey, how you doing, Luke?
I'm doing well. How you doing, Fabio?
Nice to meet you.
All right.
Somebody was talking to you about you a lot.
A lot?
Yeah, I want to meet you for a little.
What are good things?
Oh, good, great things.
Great things.
Yeah, so
Okay.
I want you. Yeah, so every day. Oh, we need to invite Luke. We got them. I said, okay.
I wanted to help you get everybody to know who you are and what's going on.
So are you born and raised around here?
No.
All right.
No. Born and raised in Baltimore.
Oh, okay. That's not far. That's
not too far. Just up 95, depending on what time of the day.
And your mama's still there, right?
Mom is still there. My brothers are there. My sisters are there. 2 aunts are there. But the remainder of most of my family are in the UK.
Oh, okay.
In the UK. My family is originally from the beautiful island of Jamaica.
Jamaica. Oh, so we're kind of close to each other.
Yeah.
Dominican Republic and Jamaica.
Yes.
The Caribbean. That's why we smile so much.
Yes.
And you didn't know that.
Yes.
Yes, because the sun.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's the way. Yeah, that's the part of it. So you're very proud now that with the Baltimore Orioles because they are really getting a great season.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm just going to step away. Y'all can talk.
No. Well, we are talking about baseball,
teasing.
you know. So,
Yeah,
but
they didn't do so good last year, but this
This
year,
year, it's
hot.
a surprise, man. That's
Yes.
a surprise thing. That's kind of cool.
But we still behind the Yankees, though. We need to
The
catch
Yankees.
up.
Yeah,
We need to catch
somebody's
up.
gonna catch up.
Somebody gonna catch up?
Yeah,
All right,
I hope so.
Hold it. All right.
So Fabio used to play ball.
Did you?
I
Back in the
did.
day.
All right.
Well, you know, Dominican Republic, we all just go to school or drinking or baseball.
Or baseball.
Yeah.
What position did you play?
Catcher.
Catcher.
Yeah.
Okay. How are those knees?
Oh, that's right. That's the problem. That's the
Okay.
that's that issue.
Okay.
But I love it. I love it how to play.
Okay.
it.
Baseball, awesome.
And I'm gonna say like everybody, I was very good.
Very good.
Yeah, but I have some injuries. That's everybody says.
You guys
the same
did very
thing,
good, but
so-
you had some issues.
so yes,
issues,
always. So
So,
Tara,
I wanted him to start a little bit with how we met.
Oh. Interesting
Do you remember?
story. I do.
Okay.
And correct me
No,
if I get off the path. So there was a house around the corner for me, right? That was for sale.
Dr. Larson's.
Dr. Lawson's house. And that was about, how long ago was that?
It was a long time ago.
Oh, maybe
Almost 8 years.
Almost 8
7
years ago.
years.
So back when I could still run and I was still swift, and I'm, taking my run around the neighborhood, and this property, the grass was growing, right? And there was a nice little sign up there from the realtor, and I was like, hey, I called and or sent a text. I was like, hey, grass is growing, so I could take care of this for you. And then I started sending some motivational texts back and forth. And she's like, who is this guy?
Luke motivates.
Luke
I know they're on
motivates.
my phone.
And then we finally got to meet, and I told Missy about some of the stuff that I was doing, and she was all open arms about helping, me doing what I was doing. As a JROTC instructor, she helped me with some cadets at Stafford High School, right? And she sponsored a leadership empowerment
Oh, that
event.
was fun. I remember
Yes.
that.
And
that's
we
great.
got a space in downtown Fredericksburg at the Marriott,
At the hotel.
at the
there,
hotel.
Yeah. Yep.
And we brought the Navy JROTC cadets from Stafford High School down there for a whole half day of leadership engagement. It was awesome.
It was really a lot of fun because I think it was really a nice environment. The food was good. They
that's
felt like
great.
they all had their uniforms on and they were
Yeah.
special.
so you've been good for a long time.
I try really hard.
Okay. It's
You know,
hard.
No
It's
matter
hard
what
for-
my mom says. Hey, Mom.
So tell us about a little bit about your background.
Background, like I said, born and raised in Baltimore. Families from the island of Jamaica. When I graduated in 1991, way back when.
I don't remember that.
You remember that?
I
It was
don't.
long time ago, before the internet.
I remember that.
Remember that? The high school I went to, Baltimore Polytech Institute, was a college prep high school, and they only took about 500 students a year. If you failed more than one class, you would be sent back to your zone school, right? And I really didn't want to go to my zone school.
So it was like a STEM school?
Engineering and science.
Okay.
Yeah. So I guess what you would call STEM.
Very cool. Back in the day.
Back in the day.
Okay.
And graduated in 91, and I was mentally burnt out. I did get into the one college I applied to, which was Towson State University.
Nice.
And I lasted a whole semester. Right? Lasted a whole semester and couldn't afford to stay. And my dad immediately transferred me from there into a community college. So I was in the community college for a year, and I was working at a cleaners near 33rd and Greenmount, which was right down the street from Memorial Stadium where the Orioles were playing back in the day. And I did that for about a year, and I was like, this kind of sucks.
Maybe I do need to go to school.
Yeah, I was like, trying to pay for school on a part-time job, and, just wasn't working out. And the Marine Corps recruiter found me at the mall.
He found you at a weaker moment.
And I stalled him. I gave him the Heisman a couple of times, and then I finally broke down, and I enlisted in the Marine Corps. I think at first I signed like a reservist or a 4-year contract, and I changed it to 6 years.
Commitment made.
Yes. And he says, well, here you can go East Coast, West Coast, or overseas. And I was like, I want to get away from home. So no East Coast. And it's the overseas was, I think, Okinawa. And I was like, I don't know if I want to go that far. I was like, let's go to the West Coast. And enlisted in the Marine Corps. Very interesting, very, changing.
What was your career field?
Career field, I was in a field called dispersing. Right.
So like the loggy officer kind of person? Oh, finance. Dispersing of funds.
And so you handled travel claims for people that went either TAD for short trips or a permanent change of duty. Where you went from one duty station to another one for, at least 3 years. And you would have to work out how much they were paid for per diem, travel, hotel.
What's TAD? Temporary duty?
Yes.
Temporary, what is it? Assignment duty or something?
Yes.
So the Air Force calls it TDY?
TDY.
So I always said temporary duty yonder.
Yonder?
Randy's like, I don't think that's right.
So while I was in the Marine Corps, stationed at Camp Pendleton, a Marine by the name of Staff Sergeant McCurtis spoke to me about this program where I could transition from being enlisted to officer. And I was like, wow, that's interesting. I was like, okay, I've been in for a couple of years, kind of got that itch to go back to school. And I applied to the program and got in and was able to go back to school. But before you went, they sent you to a prep program in Rhode Island.
Oh, nice. Darn the luck, huh?
Yes.
That's pretty there.
So it was the prep school, so you would have us. So there was maybe like 200 students, and you had students that were from the Navy, a couple kids from high school that went through a short boot camp program, and then on the bottom floor you had all the kids that were preparing to go to the Naval Academy.
Nice.
And it was 9 months of grueling math, wherever you tested out, English, chemistry the first half of the year, and then physics the next half.
Wow.
And they had college professors teaching us, but you got no credit, Right. So
Really?
No credit for but they wanted to make sure
it was a prep, so you could get in and make it.
Correct.
Oh, okay.
So they made sure if you made it through that school, you were thoroughly prepared to go to whatever college or university you got accepted
You weren't going to make them look bad.
No.
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 I love it.
So I wanted to go back to the get back to the East Coast. Well, I was already on the East Coast, but get closer to home. Wanted to go to University of Maryland, but University of Maryland wanted a little more money,
Right.
and I was paying for this using the Montgomery GI Bill.
Okay.
So I decided to go to Norfolk State, which was a little less expensive. And graduated from there in 2000, got commissioned in 2000 as a second lieutenant in the Marine Corps, and ended up spending 22 years.
Time goes by really quickly.
Really
doesn't
fast.
it?
That was yesterday.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I had hair back then.
I can't imagine you with hair.
Yeah. Literally, I'll show you a picture one day. Yeah.
I was
Well, that's cool. So then for now, well, you served your time, you've
Served my time.
retired,
Retired.
and now you're teaching.
And now I'm teaching. So, unfortunately, in 2007, let's say around, let's say late 2006, my dad was diagnosed with cancer, right? And I was stationed in beautiful Monterey, California, going to the Naval Postgraduate School, getting my master's degree. And my dad was diagnosed with cancer. And I made a promise to him that I would go back to Baltimore to give back. So when I retired, I decided to start teaching ROTC. So I took a position in Baltimore at Milford Mill Academy, which is in Baltimore County, which was still about maybe 5 miles from where I grew up.
And you were living here.
I was living here
and
right?
commuting.
And I would drive up on Monday morning, work all week, stay with my mom in Baltimore, and then drive home on the weekend.
Your wife.
And then I said
An
to myself,
angel.
yeah.
And those
She really
girls?
love you.
2 girls?
3 girls.
Well,
Oh my
they really
God.
love you.
And I had to say to myself, I said, wait a minute, you retired, right? After,
How many years of her being there all the
Yeah.
way?
Yeah, and I think back, Missy, there was at one time when we were stationed in Hawaii, and I was deployed. She was in Hawaii with all 3 girls going to school, and I was deployed on ship and in Japan, and she was going to school and taking care of all 3 girls.
See,
And I was
the
like,
military spouse life is awesome. I mean, it is, but you are the backbone.
yes.
You keep it all together.
Yes, the wives, I mean, they really are the glue.
Yeah,
the
that's
spouses.
true. That's true.
So I made that promise to my dad to give back, and working in Baltimore as a Marine Corps JROTC instructor. And after a year, I transitioned from Baltimore, and I said, okay, time to take a break, because this isn't what the agreement, when you say you're going to retire from the military. And I started delivering mail for the U.S. Post Office. That job is much harder than
We
you
have
think.
a friend of ours
Yes.
that did that, and it was terrible.
It is
tough.
He could not wait they're so overworked and so much busy work to do your job, and then
Yes.
you're on the road with all the crazies. He hated it.
Yes, there's a lot more to that job than meets the eye. So I did that for a couple months, and the instructor that I was working with in Baltimore, he had also transitioned to a school in D.C. And he called me one day. He's like, "Hey, sir, you interested in coming back? There's a spot open because the captain that was here retired." I was like, "Yeah, let me check it out." So I had the opportunity to go to a school called Columbia Heights Educational Campus in D.C. on 16th Street. Missy's had the pleasure of coming.
Oh, that's what the school that you went to.
Kat and I went up there. I mean, those kids. To me, it was. I got more out of it than I'm sure they did. It was just such a wonderful opportunity to see. These kids want to learn. They are so hungry to learn, proud of their uniform, proud of being United States American citizens. What a concept.
Awesome. Yeah, so Missy and Kat.
It's his doing that.
Yeah.
I mean.
Missy and Kat got on the VRE with me, right, at Leland Station, and we took the VRE all the way up to DC, and I think this was Missy's first time on the Metro.
Yeah.
Right?
This girl was broken in. Thank God got you one. Well, all I remember is I had those boots on that had the star on them, the pink star, and everybody's like your boots, ma'am. Like your boots, ma'am. I'm like, I'm walking out of here with my boots. But it was good. We had such a blast.
It was awesome. So Kat and Missy, we went to, I think it was the House of Pancakes, and we had a leadership breakfast, right? And the students got a chance just to ask some really engaging questions. And, you know, Missy and Kat were just so warm and welcoming. And the girls just really appreciated it. Came back and was like, you know, you were really personable. It wasn't like they were trying to advertise, like, you know, I've been a realtor for so many years.
I think more as military. Kat was military. She was active duty. And then I've basically been in the military for 65 years. I mean, my father, I was born in Germany as an Army brat, basically, and then grew up as an Air Force wife for all these years, too. But, I mean, that's more what we're more invested in, truly, is our military family. Family. Our people and their spouses. It's huge. So, but what you're doing is crazy awesome.
Thank you.
And those kids respect him, sir.
So how long you been doing it?
So since 2015.
So when you go to, if you decide someone wants to be a ROTC command, is there a formal application and all the red tape you have to go through? Is it crazy?
So I know for the Marine Corps and Navy what is done, you have to be retired. Okay. Okay. Now, there are some ways where some people can get into it that are not retired, but usually should be a retired enlisted or officer, and that service will come out with a list and say, hey, we have openings at
these high
schools, and then you have to put in an application, and it goes to a board, and they look over your record and say, okay, hey, you are fit to serve.
Is it competitive?
To a certain degree.
In certain locations.
Yes. Now sometimes it really depends on the needs. There are some places that really need these instructors and pay top dollar, you know, for them. But the best instructors are the ones that are there for the kids.
Amen.
Right? The one, you know, the ones that are still willing to spend some of their weekend and evenings teaching drill or working with these kids, helping them with their homework.
Now, I would think helping them with English too. Like your whole group up there, English was not their first language.
No.
And I mean, some of those kids, one kid speaks 5 languages, right?
Yes.
The young man from South Africa.
From Mali.
Tall.
Yes.
The kid is
Very
so
skinny guy,
amazing.
Great story.
What happened?
So,
he got in where?
Jacksonville. He's in Florida.
Oh.
So this guy, a Mott guy, comes to, I see him in the 9th grade, right? And I meet him in the elevator in the school.
And he's taller than you.
Taller than me, right? And I, start asking him questions. What grade are you in? What do you want to do when you graduate from high school?
He's reeling him in.
Reeling him in. And then I either convince him to go to his counselor, or it's a 2-prong attack where he goes to his counselor, then I send an email, and I get him into JROTC. And during the summer, there's a lot of activities that you can get into, right? You can go to leadership camp, you can go to sail camp, just, you can go to cyber bites.
The Marine sail?
Sure, yeah, we do. Yes.
That's right. That's a Navy thing. I got it.
So we send Guy to leadership camp in Norfolk, Virginia. And you have to put in your application and so forth and get selected because it is competitive. I think they only let us send 2 kids per school.
Wow.
And he was kicking and screaming not to go all the way until the day before, and he actually drove down with another cadet and that cadet's parent. And after he came back, he was like, Major Wright, that was the best decision that you helped me make to go. His mom is from Africa too, And while he was in high school, mom got her citizenship.
Oh.
And because he was not 18, he also got
Became an
his
American
citizenship.
Awesome.
And the timing was just
That's
right.
right.
And he applied for a Navy ROTC scholarship. And now he's at Jacksonville University on a $180,000 scholarship received from the Department of Navy.
So I guess this is very
What size
rewarding
shoe
for
do you
you,
have?
isn't it?
I wear a 12.
That was a size 12 in someone's rear end some days, right?
Yes.
You know, but I think kids don't realize what the opportunity is. They don't understand what they're missing. They don't. No one's ever opened the door for them before.
Right.
And I see you everywhere with these kids all behind you doing stuff. They got this uniform on. They got that uniform on. They're experienced cyber bites, which we just had Jonathan here.
Okay.
I'm so excited. He's so funny. He's growing up
Yes,
before
he is.
our eyes.
Yes, he is.
You know, and becoming much more of a businessman, and you know, just great. I was just watching him, but I think that you are opening doors for these kids that obviously they would never have the opportunity.
But it's a, you know, Missy, it's a team effort.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah,
So,
everything is
you know, when you sponsor that leadership event and you bring Kat up and you take the time to speak to the kids,
That's our future.
yeah, that's the future.
They're going to come
right?
wheelchair us around one day.
Exactly.
Hopefully.
we need somebody to bring the tapioca pudding to us, right? So when you get people like yourself involved from the community and say, I'm willing to give my time to engage with them, you know, one of my biggest things is I want the kids to be able to have a seat in the boardroom before they're actually in the boardroom, right? So if they can sit down and speak with Missy, right, it says, okay, man, this is a professional. She knows her craft. She knows the ins and outs, and I can have almost like an adult conversation, look someone in the eye, give them a professional handshake, and engage with them in a professional manner. Wow, there's no telling what I can do. So it's a blessing to be able to have people like Missy, Cyber Bites, and anybody else that's willing to contribute, especially their time, knowledge, and experience to give to these kids. Because just like Missy said, we can't say that we care about the future if we're not willing to invest in
that's
it.
true. That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. That's right.
Yeah.
I got a great memories about RTC because I took it.
Yes.
Okay.
But I wasn't, really meant to be. But I think that they love me because even I got medal for like a shooting for M6 thing.
Okay.
I know for sure that I didn't win anything, but they were really nice. Sergeant McKindra and Sergeant Simons. Yeah.
Okay.
And
I
tell
love
me,
those
where
guys.
did you go to school?
Kansas,
Yeah.
Leavenworth.
Oh.
In Fort Leavenworth, it's very close to. Leavenworth's right there.
Yeah.
It's a big prison, but anyway, it's a fort, so it's really was kind of cool. I
Okay.
love it. Yeah, but I was kind of a little bit, I wasn't like wearing the uniform the correct way and stuff like that. It was kind of. That was my
But
time.
you learned some stuff.
Oh yes, I
Okay.
did. One thing that I remember, I don't know if it happens now. I remember Sergeant McKindra used to, call like all the races, like American, Black American, and let's say Puerto Rican and stuff like that. So
And what do you call
I
it?
say, I don't know. So I say, hey man, I'm not on the list. And he said, orders. So I'm orders.
You were what?
Others?
Orders?
Orders.
Others.
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 Oh, I get
Others.
it.
So I say, well, I'm others because
I was,
Dominican Republic.
yeah,
Others.
others.
I love it.
when I went to boot camp, during that time, the Marine Corps had this thing where everybody was green.
No matter what.
No matter what, you were
I
green.
like that.
Right? If you were white, it's like, okay, light green, African American, dark green, or whatever. But everybody was green, right? And I remember the drill instructor was telling us, hey, you guys are all equally nasty and ugly and green, and it, when you're in boot camp or in the trenches,
You're a team.
You're a team.
You're a team.
Right? And the last thing that you need to worry about is what color somebody is.
Yeah, that's true.
You're really talking about, okay, can I depend on this person? Can I depend on you when things are hard? You know what I'm saying? Well, I don't care where you came from, what language, will you assist me and will you dig deep when I really need you? And that's a great thing about ROTC,
Yeah,
JROTC.
it is great.
In our
It's great.
military in general, I really feel
Yeah.
like even like my dad, you know, his soldiers.
Mhm.
They were his soldiers, you know, and he was one with, I mean, how many trips to Vietnam? I think 4 trips to Vietnam. And Randy's dad, too, he was a pilot. But, I mean, I just feel like the military has such a different, which you were, you know, I mean, that's it. There's a really good bond there because you are serving together for that one, and it's to stay alive. We just need to stay alive.
Stay alive.
Yeah,
Stay afloat.
I mean, RTC, well, my cousin, all of us, they got a scholarship from RTC, and they went to the Army, and they got a really high rank and stuff like that. But I think I wasn't made it to be, you know, I was completely different. So I said, no, man, it's not me.
Pass.
Peace
out.
I peace out.
Yeah, I'm finished. I'm good.
So I know you have bigger and juicier endeavors now coming up.
Yeah,
Share with us.
share.
So people know.
Yeah, I'm going to Hollywood. You hear
Oh.
about that? No, I'm not going to.
Well, we're working on it here. We're trying. And our next
Missy's trying to
one of-
very hard to do
one
it.
of our next guests is actually a SAG. She's a new SAG representative.
Really?
Yes, and I can't wait to get. She's an retired Army.
Okay.
And they wanted her. So we'll get
Okay.
her in, and we'll
Yeah,
introduce you, and maybe you get to go to
okay,
Hawaii,
maybe I get
or
to
not
go-
to Hawaii, Hollywood.
Hollywood.
Hollywood. So I'm running for Virginia State Senate.
Oh.
District 27, which includes Stafford,
Mm-hmm.
Fredericksburg, and Spotsylvania.
Oh, wow.
That's huge.
Yeah, it is.
Why?
Well,
Why is that so big?
why is it so?
It is just that's what the district
That's
is.
what, yes.
Okay.
So this was a redistricted area. There's no incumbent. So sometimes when I'm speaking to my would-be constituents, they say, well, you know, who's the old person? It's like, hey, this is all brand new.
Oh, that's
You
because
know,
it was
yeah.
redistricted.
It was
Oh, okay,
redistricted.
very cool.
So the reason why I'm running is some people use this term armchair quarterback. You know, people that sit home and criticize, you know, what's going on. And I think all of us as U.S. citizens, we can sit back and criticize the Republican or the Democrat or whoever the politician is. But until you sit in that seat and do the work for the people, you can't really get a feel for what it's like.
Is it a good feeling or a scary feeling or going to be a challenge?
What I would say, like the same thing I tell my students, if it doesn't scare you, the
You're not
opportunity ain't
pushing.
big enough.
That's
You just wrote that on one of your posts, something like
Yeah.
that. Well,
So
that's good.
I'm doing it to do my part, right? As an American, just like all of us should serve on jury duty at some point. I feel as though, hey, I did 22 years in the Marine Corps. On my 8th year in teaching, and I was like, okay, how can I give more to the state and community that I'm living in, right? Whether it be the teachers or any of the first responders, my fellow veterans.
Man, we need something going on here.
Yes.
I mean, this place is growing so
It
fast.
is.
The infrastructure and the mentality. The schools
The schools.
are plugged. I mean, they can't hold anymore right
Mhm.
now, and it's just going to be interesting to see how these next 4 or 5 years. So when is the election then?
June.
Oh, it's-
June of 2023 is the
Okay.
primary.
Okay.
All right.
Yes.
All
All
right.
right, we'll have to have you back.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you got your platform all set.
Yeah, so you can my campaign website, Wright for VA.
Nice.
WRIGHTFORVA.
Like it.
Yes.
Like it.
That's great.
Are you,
That's
what,
great.
and your family, your wife is thinking, oh, here we go again.
Here we
Yeah,
go
yeah,
again.
I guess.
What has he gotten himself into? And my wife is very good about, hey, you ready for this question? What are you gonna say when they ask you this?
Maybe we have to bring her over here.
Oh no, don't
That's
do
a
that. Don't do that. Don't do that.
That would be awesome. That would be awesome. So,
Then they're gonna vote for her.
Well-
It's like she's gonna run. She's
yeah, but she
run.
knows. They know that she's behind you.
That's right.
She's
Yeah.
not behind you, but she's with you.
She's right
They would not
beside
be
you.
Right
saying-
beside.
Right
Absolutely.
beside.
Forget about that.
Yeah.
We
She's
can,
going.
you know,
All right, Luke, answer it right.
Yes.
yeah.
Right.
Right. There we go.
That's
You-
exciting.
You know, in some point, it's just like my wife. She said, like, well, she was a photographer, professional photographer. So she said, when we got married, she said, "Can I keep my last name?" I say, "You can keep whatever you want because you don't belong to me. We are a couple, but you don't have to have my last name. You know, you got yours and I got mine, and we're good."
That's why I get confused. I'm like, who is who with what?
Yeah, some people ask me, "Are you
These
guys
guys have
married?"
30
Yes, we are
names.
married,
Yeah.
but you know, it's up to her to have her own name. That's
Yes.
not, you know.
Yes.
So I guess in some point, sometime we have to change a little bit about that. But so that's my thought. It's not really, you know, it's
give and
not,
take, right?
yeah, it's not really, you know, it's not really like a.
So your daughters, how old are they?
Oh man, 27,
Ooh, trick question. Sorry about that.
22, and 20.
And their aspirations, or
My middle daughter Simone wants to be a podiatrist.
we need podiatrists.
Yes.
Yes.
She just graduated from Mary Baldwin,
Oh, very cool.
and man, that was quite an event. First of all, I was so glad to make that last tuition payment.
Check written. Done.
So her aspirations are to be a podiatrist, and she's been focused on that for such a long time.
So where's med school? Where's she?
I think she wants to get into the military medical program.
There you go, Daddy.
Yes. So for those people that don't know, there are medical programs out there with the military. And if you have have your bachelor's degree, you can go to school in DC, right? They will cover school, right? Give you a stipend while you're in school, right? With the agreement that once you graduate, look, hey, we pay for you to
So
go to
you're
medical-
not in the military while you're going to school,
No, right?
but you're going to own them.
You're gonna own, right?
Nice.
So you're gonna graduate with your medical degree and a job, right?
That's awesome.
With the exchange, it's like, okay, you work for us for the next 10 years.
That's awesome.
Right.
Well, you're going to still do
That's
the same
great.
thing, even if they
Right.
get out. They're going to be, but they're not going to be probably making the consistent money that they would be
Correct.
otherwise starting out.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So, and imagine graduating from medical school and not owing
a dime.
Yeah.
$300,000.
Plus, you have a job already.
And plus you got a job already. You know,
Yeah, that's-
just a
that's-
straight.
That's a piece of money.
Yeah.
That's my nephew went in as a JAG, and they paid all his educational bills if he were to come
Right.
as a JAG officer.
Yeah. So that is one
Sweet
of the
deal.
Sweet deal.
Yeah.
That's one of the big things with getting a ROTC scholarship. I tell my students, I was like,
What a privilege.
what a
too, though.
privilege. You know, when you go to college and not having to run back and forth to the financial aid office.
We have people who can't buy houses or do anything.
So by
because
any
they're
chance,
so
do
in
we
debt.
have around here the program RTC?
Each of the high schools do in
Yeah.
Stafford.
So Stafford has it. I think Colonial Forge has it. The school,
Mountain View does
Mountain
too.
View has
Mountain View
it.
is Navy, I think.
Yeah.
I think Marine Corps.
Okay.
I don't know, because maybe when I was living in Leavenworth, that's a small town, so you can see people, you know, dressing up with your
But they have
uniform
I
and
think
stuff
there are
like
three
that.
main high schools in Stafford. I think even Stafford High does too.
Stafford has Navy.
Colonial Forge.
Colonial Forge, I
Air
think
Force.
it's Air Force or Coast Guard, one of the two. Yes.
Maybe Coasties.
Yeah, maybe Coast Guard.
Mr. Shipley has been an influence there, I'm sure.
Okay. Yeah. So it's great
Okay.
great opportunities.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
So you give us, a little spiel about the opportunities for the ROTC kids then that come in. How do they qualify, and what's the commitment if there is? So they outgrow their uniform,
So
which happens the first year probably.
so remember, every service has their own JROTC program.
Okay.
Okay, so usually a school is dedicated to one, right? So Stafford has Navy. Some other school may have Marine Corps or Air Force or whatever. One of the requirements is that you are a U.S. citizen. Okay, however, no JROTC program is going to turn away a kid that says, "Hey, I really want to participate in this program," right?
Okay.
Awesome.
Because
Awesome.
I'm interested in improving myself or learning some things. The other thing is you're going to be required to wear a uniform at least once a week, right? And hold yourself to the high standards of that service and JROTC program. There's no requirement that you go into the military. Some of the kids are under the pretenses like, okay, if I go in there, I got to go into the military. They're going to enlist me.
Right.
And some of the parents think so too.
Well,
so,
it's kind of a good. I mean, you would think that. It's nice to not have that.
So parents, your kids do not have to go into the military to join JROTC.
Well, I can tell you, I'm one of the big example of that. You know, I didn't have to go there.
Yes.
Well, that's cool. And then GPA?
GPA, we would love the students to have at least a passing GPA.
Okay.
Now, what I do with students
You help them, don't you?
I help them.
See the light.
You see the light. So we have many opportunities where we go on field trips. We go to Naval Academy. Sometimes we travel all the way down to Hampton, Virginia to visit colleges. We have drill competitions. We got to go to the White House.
I saw that.
A couple months ago. So I say to them, have to have all passing grades if you're going to go on a field trip and you're going to participate. So you might have gotten a permission slip, right? But before sometimes the night before, I'm going in the system. I'm looking at grades, you know, and it's happened where I've had to call.
That's good. It motivates them, right?
I think that's a great idea.
Hey, I'm looking at these grades. I don't think you're getting on the bus tomorrow. You know, and
but it's a lesson learned.
It's a lesson learned. Make sure I'll get that turned in. Okay, good to go. When I see it changing the system, you know, and it doesn't encourage them. So you have to be supposed to be a U.S. citizen. Okay, you're going to wear a uniform at least once a week, right? Adhere to the grooming standards and wearing a uniform. You want your grades to be good. And some of the benefits definitely are the lessons learned, the camaraderie, learning about leadership, the field trips, the competitions, and of course, being able to get a full ride scholarship. I'll tell you a short story about a young man named Michael Rodriguez, who's at Southern University right now. Okay? So Michael Rodriguez didn't originally go to Columbia Heights Educational Campus, the school that I currently teach at. So he met my master sergeant, who's an awesome guy, right? He's from Puerto Rico also, right? And my master sergeant was at an event, and he saw my master sergeant. He's like, I like that. I want to go to his school because they got a JROTC program, and my school doesn't. So Mike goes back to his mom. He's like, Mom, I want to switch schools. His mom was like, that ain't happening. You know?
But
and he was persistent.
Good for him.
He went to his principal and says, hey, how can we get a JROTC program here?
Good for him.
And she wrote him back, you know, a nice letter, you know, thank you for your concerns and this, that, and the third.
But it ain't happening.
It takes time, right? So Mike was very adamant, and his mom finally kind of gave. And he transferred from his school and came to our school. And I remember speaking to Mike when he got there and I said, Mike, what do you want to be? What do you want to do after you graduate?
Did he want your job?
No.
Oh.
No, he didn't. He didn't, because if he did, I'd probably be out of a job now. Mike said he wanted to be an aviator.
Oh, very
Wants to
cool.
be a Navy pilot. I was like,
Ooh.
okay, all right.
Slam that down on the aircraft carrier.
Damn. So fast forward, COVID hits.
Oh.
And COVID really disrupted a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Kids kind of went into their shells because now I'm at home. I'm not with my fellow students.
Right.
Not sure how to handle this. The teachers are asking me to be on screen. But hey, my bedroom is in the living room. I'm sharing that with cousins, brothers, and uncles. I don't really want to be on screen. You know? So a lot of different challenges. And so towards the end of the year, I got some information from a good friend of mine, Carlos Nelson, who helps me with all of the ROTC packages. So if you can, look up a nonprofit organization called Stand and Serve, run by Carlos Nelson, outstanding guy. So we found out about an aviation program at Delaware State in Delaware. And they have this aviation program they've been running for decades that's run by the Air Force. And then the Navy said, hey, we're going to get in on this year. We're going to check it out. and said we're going to throw some money at it, and we're going to see if we can send some cadets.
That's awesome.
So Carlos Nelson tells me about it, and he's like, Mike says he wants to be a pilot. Get his application started. We want to send him. It's like, all right, Mike. Hey, so we send this application. I think he had to take a couple tests and so forth. And he said he's in. I was like, oh, all right. So I grab Mike, Missy, and I take him to Costco in D.C. And I get him some collared shirts. I get him some khaki shorts. I got him like some Dockers. And
you prepped him out.
I prepped him out. Got a little hygiene bag and a suitcase. And there was another parent who was taking his son up to Delaware, and he offered to take Mike.
Oh, wow, that was
right?
great.
And it was awesome.
So he's in?
Hold on. There's more to the story.
Okay.
This is an 8-week program.
I'd like to get to the bottom line.
Get him on me? So, week 3, he's there, and Mike sends me a video. He's in the cockpit with his instructor. And I was like, wait a minute. This is week 3. What's going on here? You used to be in the classroom. How does this work? I was like, okay, all right. He ain't actually flying the plane himself. He's an instructor. Part of the graduation requirement is that they must take off from Delaware, their airport at the school, fly to another airport, land, take off from there to another airport further away, and then fly back. Solo.
Oh,
what?
Geez.
Solo.
Ooh.
So this is an 18-year-old doing this, a
fabulous.
17 or 18-year-old doing this. Okay?
Oh my gosh. What was it? What kind of plane do you have?
I think
A T-30 something?
this is a small plane like you might see
I
here
trainer?
I can't
over,
believe that.
yeah, over at Stafford Airport or Manassas. And so in order to go to this program, he missed his high school graduation. Okay? So the organizers at the school were at the aviation program says, hey, we know he missed his graduation. Is there any way you can get his diploma and we present it
Oh, that's
here?
very cool. When he walks here. That's very cool.
So when he graduated from that program, there was an astronaut that had just returned from space, African-American astronaut by, I think, Victor Robles, and he was the guest speaker, right? So we were able, in front of his mom and his family, to present him with his graduation certificate from the program, okay, and his diploma.
That's
Oh
awesome.
my gosh, that's amazing.
And today, Michael was at Southern University in Baton Rouge on a $180,000 scholarship that pays for 4 years of college.
My God.
And then
Right.
after he graduates, he's a second lieutenant?
Right now, he's just a student.
So he'll be a second
He'll
lieutenant when he
be an
graduates.
ensign in the Navy.
Oh, that's right, sorry.
Right? And so you imagine this is changing the trajectory.
Completely.
Absolutely.
His life and
His
his
life.
family's life.
Right?
Yeah.
So, and single parent household, right? His mom was working at McDonald's, right? It's just him, his mom, and I think he had a rabbit,
Oh.
right? And
That's a lucky
Yeah,
rabbit
lucky
foot right there.
yeah. Right? He probably was rubbing that rabbit foot,
love
And so these are the type of real life stories, that are happening.
Yes.
Right?
That's amazing.
So
You have some of the best kids though here too.
yeah, they're great kids.
I mean, and I told you this too, but I want these guys to hear it. I mean, when Kat and I are there, everybody's yes ma'aming us to death, which I already feel like I'm older anyway, but I was just like, then they were helping each other. They were so respectful of each other, which that was like one of the most impressive things for me. Help each other get their uniform, get their medals right. One young man was there ironing his shirt and shaving because he didn't have couldn't do it at home.
right.
And it just was like, thank goodness. I mean, that these kids are given this opportunity and that you're there, that you're going to make you are making a huge difference
Right.
in a lot of their lives.
Yeah, that's
And
great. That's great.
it's I loved how they respected and they took care of each other.
Yes.
It was like they were their own little tribe, their own little group of people that just
You will
brought
find,
each other up.
Yeah,
I loved it.
You will find in almost all these JROTC programs that it's like a little family.
Well, they are. They're right. They are their family.
They,
a lot
they,
of
they
times.
take care of one another, and you may have one kid in that program that's really good at math, right? And he's the kid that
Teaches everybody. That's awesome.
You know, and you may have kids that are having a hard time at home, and you know, sometimes you'll see a kid break down and cry, and you know that kid, they'll grab that kid, take them in, and
that's amazing.
And they're taking care of each other, just like a squad or a platoon.
Yeah.
So how many students in the program?
We've got maybe about 130 students, I think, in our program.
That's great.
And a couple of years ago, we are now able to take 8th graders.
Okay.
Right. So at Columbia Heights Educational Campus, you have the high school on one side, and you have the middle school on the other side.
Okay.
So those 8th graders that are seeing is like, okay, I'm going to high school next year, and some of them see the color guard is like, hey, I want to do that.
Yeah, I want to.
You know. So now they're able to participate in the program and have a smoother transition into JROTC.
Oh, that's great. That's great. That's amazing.
Good.
How many times do you cry?
Only a little bit. Every time I talk about it, you know, it's so frustrating.
I got the handkerchief.
You got a tissue?
Yeah,
you got a handkerchief? Okay.
Yeah,
No, I just think it's awesome that these kids are given this opportunity.
Yeah.
And those of ours who are poopy here at these local high schools have their parents make tons of money, you know, they're living in a beautiful home, and the pride factor is zippo.
And you know, sometimes, Missy, the kids don't know.
Well, they don't know what they don't know. They're
yeah.
not being mentored. They don't have someone saying, "Come along, just see it, just
see
try it." You know.
But you know what's great? We have some beautiful opportunities right here in Stafford.
Oh my God! Cyberbites.
Cyberbites
is tremendous. What they're doing
tremendous,
for the population.
Right? So for the last couple of years, shout out to Caesar Nader, right?
Absolutely.
And Matt and
Matt Lever and Jonathan Payton.
All those guys there. You can go to Cyberbites, right? Kids are going to Cyberbites for the summer, and they're taking camps, week-long camps. Build your own 3D printer.
Yeah.
Right?
Or your drone.
Or drone.
Yeah,
right?
he shared that with us last week.
And not only do you build it, you get to take it home at the end of the week.
Yeah,
right?
You don't have to pay an arm and a leg for it.
Yeah. This summer, they had a VR, virtual reality camp, where the students were designing the environment in the goggles. You can create your own golf course, you know, your own.
I was thinking like a place where a war. What's the 29 Palms? What is that? The training. Where they have the camp
your
out
own
there.
training facility.
And
you
the
know,
FBI Academy has theirs. That you have their virtual training gallery too.
So your imagination.
That is amazing.
Is the only limit.
Yeah, that's true.
You know. So also there's a gentleman by the name of George Hinckley that put together a STEM camp this summer. They held it at North Stafford, right? They had the local law officials there, the big boy drones, right? They also had SysCom, Marine Corps SysCom from Marine Corps Base Quantico there, and these kids were learning how to operate drones there for the whole week, right? And what was two of the coolest things, they had to operate the drones without looking at them.
Oh wow.
Okay?
So they're operating from a screen,
From
not
the screen.
watching the...
Exactly, right? So you imagine if you have to send a drone in, maybe into a facility that is to rescue someone or to look for a explosive device, right? Once you send it in, you've lost vision with your eyes. So you need to look at that screen and not at the device.
Yeah.
So they had kids, they were on the football field and they're flying the drone, and the drone is, you know,
That's awesome.
like 30 feet above their head behind them. In addition, in order to legally operate a drone in some places, you need a drone license.
Yes.
The FAA 107. During the camp, they said for certain students that could outmaneuver the drone, and there were a handful of them that were be able to outrun
Those
the
good
drones.
game players.
Right?
Nice.
They said, we're going to pay for your test when you take the FAA 107.
Wow.
That's awesome.
So there are wonderful opportunities.
Air Force is screaming for him.
Screaming for them. Yes.
Every time we go, Randy's recruiting at the bar.
Yeah.
Him and the space, what was her name?
Yeah.
The lady, we met the lady who was the head of the space command. She was amazing.
Yes. And you know what? Can't forget this. So Missy came and spoke at and checked out Cyber Bikes, right? And she says, "Hey, I'm gonna bring Randy," right? And
He had no idea what was happening.
He didn't know?
He had no idea.
You
He
got
thought he was
him?
just coming with me for the day. We were going to put signs up and lock boxes on. He was making me crazy. I'm like, we got to go somewhere. So we're going to go visit you guys. So.
And he came and spoke to the kids. So can you imagine that these kids, you're speaking to an SES.
Yes.
Right? It's like this guy's
like, please,
equivalent to a general.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It's like, when do the kids get to engage with executive level professionals?
Mm-hmm.
Right? You don't do that in math class.
Yeah, that's true.
You don't do that in English class or gym. It's like in JROTC, we're going to take you to places where you're forced to engage with experienced, knowledgeable, and leaders that are willing to share.
So the day we were there too, they had Elon Musk. And one of the days that we were there,
Right.
They were doing all the stuff with the cyber stuff for Elon Musk and his whole world, you know. And it was just so interesting. I think the doors that you guys are opening is a wonderful thing, and that's one of the reasons, other than helping your political endeavors also.
Right.
I want these kids and these parents to be aware of the opportunities that are here. I mean, just knock on the door, you know. We'll get Luke's information in there for you so you guys can reach out and support him.
Most definitely. And after I leave here this evening, you know where I'm going? Mm-hmm. I'm going to visit one of the Habitat for Humanity sites where they're building houses.
Oh.
Right?
So where is that? Tell us. We don't know.
Address is in my phone.
No, that's okay. So is it here in Fredericksburg?
Here in Fredericksburg.
Okay.
And so students are able to go there and volunteer, get their community service hours. So if they're not getting their vocational time in school,
over there. That's great. That's great.
And help our community.
Yeah.
Right? To build affordable housing.
Yeah, we need some of
We
that,
need
don't
that.
We need a lot of houses.
Yeah,
we?
for our teachers.
We need affordable. I mean,
Yeah.
the teachers can't even afford to buy in Stafford. They're teaching Stafford.
And some of the police. So can you imagine that?
Yeah.
You are a police or a teacher in Stafford or Spotsy or Fredericksburg, and it's like, hey, this rent, I can't afford it.
Yeah, this market was out of. I think now we see it leveling off. So hopefully, it levels off.
Yeah.
And but we do need we need affordable housing. We need, whether it's rentals or things that people can buy, homes that people can buy. We have got to have something, and it needs to be a cap on it for whom can, like used to be a VA or a fireman or a police officer or a teacher got first opportunity. But that's all gone away by the wayside of greed, basically. And then the people that are accepting cash offers, I think a lot of times it's corporate. Corporate is buying up our 200 to 400 price points in a lot of communities, not so much here, but outside of big cities, because they are going to hold them and they're keeping them as rentals. But it's corporate that are. We don't even know where they're from. Are they from some foreign country or not? But it's big money that's pooling together to buy huge chunks of homes up. So your kids and my kids won't be able to afford a home. They're going to be renters for the rest of their lives. It's not
scary.
right.
Scary.
But it's what's happening.
Scary.
So people don't know about it. So it's just truly educating, just like you're doing.
Right.
You know, we try to bring some of the ugly to the surface. You know, it all looks cute. We're all selling houses and high-fiving each other, but there's a lot of ugly that's going on in this market too. So
but we need to work on those relationships.
Yeah.
Right, because it's Missy is one of those special people that it's about relationships.
Yeah,
right?
it is.
And my friend Marsha Walker Harris, who's also a real estate agent, is a lot like Missy.
Well,
right?
we need to know him.
Yeah. So Marsha actually sold me the house that me and my wife currently live in. But what Marsha and Missy do, they don't sell you a house, right? They connect you with your home, right? And they know you as a person.
You can be my friend whether you like it or not.
Right? And they don't make it feel like this is a transaction.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
You know,
Absolutely.
and that's a wonderful thing.
Yeah, that's good.
Yes.
And Fabio, that's why we've tapped him on the shoulder too.
Sometimes.
Yeah, no, you're amazing. You're amazing. You're so passionate, and there's not many agents that'll pull from a deal because his client is not getting what they deserve. You pulled, didn't you?
Yeah, I did.
And when you called me this morning and said, how do I withdraw? And I'm like, yes! So maybe you'll get that call back and you'll get the deal your clients need.
Well, I try to, I'm a true believer, so I say to my clients that God's going to open the right door. Sometimes you don't see as a human being, you just want to be passionate. But if something doesn't work, just let it go.
Right.
Let's go to another step,
So it's buying on emotion, not on facts and stats and what you need.
Yes.
So because it's a business transaction, no matter how much we try to keep the emotion out of it and do whatever, it's still for your household. Your household is a business.
Yeah, that's true.
And a lot of people forget that. They have to have it, and they really don't. It's not the best thing.
Yeah.
So you did the right thing for that potential buyer instead of looking out.
You didn't need the commission.
For your commission.
No. The last thing that I think for a realtor to be successful, the last thing that you have to see commissions. You have to see how you help the people that you're working with.
Serving.
Yes, serving.
If you serve, it goes around.
Servants. Yeah, that's the way it is.
That's what I was telling them. I had a deal that I was a listing agent. And I don't know if you saw that video, but I really felt like the agent needed the commission more than her client was being protected. Just made me crazy. But I'm working for the sellers, but I could tell that she was going to make that deal work no matter what. And he was a first-time VA home buyer, and my heart went out to him. But he has a house now, and she has her commission.
Well, it's part of life, it's going to be the same way. It's going to be good people and going to be, always in any career. It's going to be the same way.
It comes around.
It comes around,
right?
Yeah.
Because when someone treats you well, right, you would say, "Listen, I worked with this person," and they will recommend. So like, "Hey,
absolutely,
I got somebody for you. Hey, I need you to call Marsha Walker Harris, or I need you to call Missy, whatever," and they will connect you with that person.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Because it's something you have to be able to touch the person here before you touch them here.
Oh yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about it.
I appreciate that. It's just so true. So leave us with a parting thought.
A parting thought.
Yes.
A parting thought. 2 things, right? So 1, don't find an excuse, find a way.
Yeah.
Right?
That's a good one. That's a good,
It is always easy to lean on your procrastination and fears, right? Everything that we truly desire, as one of my mentors, John Maxwell, says, is uphill, right? If it doesn't scare you, it's probably not worth it.
Yeah.
2, as I move forward and to become a state senator for District 27, people over politics, right? Without people, you don't have politics, right? And I'm willing to work with someone who's a Republican, an independent, or Democrat in order to make the lives better
For the people.
Yeah.
You're going to have to peel back some onions.
I'm gonna have to peel back some onions.
You're going to be crying.
A lot of
Oh
onions,
my
yeah.
God, I can't believe I'm doing this.
Yeah, so
I'll
I'll put my goggles on.
That's what it
Yes,
takes.
it takes what it
You
takes.
got to get down to the ugly, to the meat.
Yes.
But look, repeat the first one because I love the first one.
Don't find an excuse, find a way.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm gonna take that one.
Yeah, take that one.
Well, we thank you.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
I really enjoy so much.
Thank you.
You were right.
I know.
You were right.
I'm always right.
I have
Well,
to
not
be.
always.
No, not always.
Most
you
of
know,
the
but
But anyway, you guys, thank you so much for joining us. And we would love, again, for you to, if you have any questions, drop them in the comments. Luke, Fabio, or myself will definitely get back to you as soon as possible. We'd love for you to subscribe and share.
please.
Because this man's word needs to get out for the kids in our world right now, especially, and then for any way you can support him politically too. I know he's going to make a difference. Bye, y'all.
Bye, guys.
Thank you.
So glad you joined us today.
Please message us on Facebook, and Fabio and I will respond to all your questions as soon as possible.
Find us on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcast,
Or anywhere you listen to your podcast.